వెల్కమ్ టు ఒక విజేత పరిచయం. గెలవాలంటే కసి ఉండాలి. కసి ఉంటే ఎంతటి లక్ష్యాన్నైనా అందుకోవడానికి సులువైన మార్గాలు దొరుకుతాయి. మానవులకు ఈ ప్రపంచంలో అసాధ్యం అనేది ఏదీ లేదు. అసాధ్యం అనుకున్న వాటిని సైతం సుసాధ్యం చేసిన వారెందరో మన మధ్య ఉన్నారు. అటువంటి వ్యక్తుల సక్సెస్ స్టోరీని అందించే ప్రయత్నమే ఈ ఒక విజేత పరిచయం.
తన కలల వైపు నమ్మకంతో ఎవరు అడుగు వేస్తారో, తాను ఊహించుకున్న విజయాన్ని అనుభవించడానికి ఎవరు ప్రయత్నిస్తారో వారు అంతులేని విజయం సాధిస్తారు. జీవితాన్ని ఛాలెంజ్గా మలుచుకుని కలల్ని నిజం ఎలా చేసుకోవాలో ప్రాక్టికల్గా నిరూపించిన నేటి తరం బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్ రఘునాథ్.
కసితో కూడిన కృషి విజయాన్ని సాధించి పెడుతుంది. నమ్మకం మనిషిని నడిపించే ఒక ఇంధనం. మనిషి తనలోని అంతర్గత శక్తులను వెలికి తీయాలన్నా, తన కలలను, ఆశలను, ఆశయాలను నెరవేర్చుకోవాలన్నా మొదట ప్రయత్నించాలి. ఆ ప్రయత్నానికి బలమే నమ్మకం. ఏ ఓటమి ఆఖరు కాదు. నమ్మకం మనసుకు సంబంధించినది, మానసిక బలాన్ని నిర్ణయించేది. అందుకే ఆశావాదం ప్లస్ పట్టుదల = నమ్మకం అంటారు రఘునాథ్ ఆకాశం. అలాంటి సక్సెస్ పర్సన్ రఘునాథ్తో స్పెషల్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ మీకోసం. గతంలో గెలవాలన్న కసి ఉంది, కానీ ఆలోచనకు తగ్గ పెట్టుబడి లేదు. అయితేనేం గుండెల నిండా మెండుగా ఆత్మవిశ్వాసం ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు రఘునాథ్ జీవితం ఆకాశమే హద్దుగా పయనిస్తోంది.
రఘునాథ్ గారు, మీ ఇంటి పేరు ఆకాశం. నేమ్ సౌండ్స్ వెరీ వెరైటీ అనమాట. అంటే మీరు స్కై ఇస్ ద లిమిట్ అని డిసైడ్ చేసుకొని దూసిపోవడానికి పెట్టుకున్న పేరా? హౌ కుడ్ యూ టెల్ us?
Nothing like that. It has been surnamed, so we can't help it. It is. But actually, interesting thing is, when I started my practice as a chartered accountant, we have a rule in our ICAI regulations, Chartered Accountants Institute regulations, that the name of the firm should be part of your name.
Okay.
So part of name is, that's why you see most of the chartered accountant firms' names being individual names.
Okay.
Srinivas and Co.
Okay.
Reddy and Co. So individual names you see. So then I thought Raghunath. So I always like a teamwork, and I felt individual name for my firm doesn't sound as good.
Okay.
So then my name part is my surname Akasam. So which as per rule I am entitled to get as a firm name. So I have chosen Akasam. Yes, obviously Akasam says sky, and we always refer that sky is the limit. And I believe sky is also not the limit. So that's how Akasam.
It did. మీ surname మీకు బాగా help అయింది in terms of giving your title.
It gave some recall value. It appeared a brand name in itself, that it doesn't give any individual name. It gives independent name. So I like it.
Yeah, it does. It is. To start with, actually మీ చైల్డ్హుడ్ గురించి, అంటే మీరు పుట్టిన ప్లేస్, మీ పేరెంట్స్, ఇంకా అసలు మీరు CA ఎందుకు చూస్ చేసుకోవాలనుకున్నారు, ఈ కెరియర్ గురించి కొంచెం would you please explain?
Yeah, I think it's not a good. I came from a small place, Kadiri. So Kadiri is my father's place in Anantapur district.
Okay.
So I'm born in Gurakonda, that's mother's place. So again in Anantapur district. So father was a banker. He used to work for Syndicate Bank. So I think my education has been, I think, because of his transfers, every 3 years I used to be in a new place. Okay. And mostly the transfers used to be in June, July. So I never got seat in a prime school in that place.
Okay.
So I had to study Telugu medium, and also in a school which is generally a smaller school. And my father is one who doesn't seek any recommendation. I doesn't ask for any favors. So he used to put me in whatever school possible in that place. But it was good. I did my education in Telugu medium up to 10th. But slight academic break came when I studied in Nagarjuna Sagar, AP Residential Junior College, which is funded by Residential Society in AP. It is the PV Narasimha Rao's concept of residential education. So in fact that institute was very great institution. So at the time I think most of the first ranks used to come to that institute. So in fact me coming into that institution is my luck. As I joined MPC, but I was worried of maths, so I had to run away from maths. So I got seat in AP RJC. Then I joined CEC in APRJC. For my marks at the time, CEC seat was available. So then I joined and did my commerce. So then I never consciously thought of CA, and I think I give credit to my friend Kishore, who was going for CA, and I just followed him. So I think he always thinks better than me. So it was easy for me to choose CA. And having chosen, then I worked for completing the course. So that's how CA happened. It's not very conscious career thought. No, it was not.
జనరల్గా ఒక టైంలో ఎన్పిసి అంటేనే వాల్యూ అని, లేకపోతే బైపీసీ తీసుకుంటేనే వాల్యూ అని ఒక స్టేజ్లో ఉన్న జస్ట్ ఇట్స్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ద రీసెంట్ టైం, లేకపోతే అదే ఒక అపోహతో నడుస్తున్నారు కదా. సో యూ హ్యాపెన్ టు చేంజ్ ద టెండెన్సీ, అంటే మీరు ముందు సిఈసి తీసుకోవడం వల్ల సిఏగా మీకు ఒక బ్లెస్సింగ్ అయిందనమాట.
In a way, yes, because apatlo even parents used to think. My mother used to say, though I was interested in BPC, mother said it's better to be in MPC for easier career, a better career. So, but at the time medicine was considered to be very tough. So maybe somehow I also agreed with her and joined MPC. But after joining, I understood I can't do maths. Very weak in mathematics. So CEC was an escapist chance.
Okay, but maths, now you are playing with all the digits and you say you've been a weak, and the maths for a couple of weeks and it's surprising.
In a way, so sometimes we don't think. I think today generation people think good and well ahead about career. Even kids think about career. But at that time, for us it's career. We never thought so much about the career. So I escaped maths there. I did my commerce CEC.
Okay.
But again ended up doing CA where we have maths subjects.
Correct.
And I had to learn all the maths which I was wary of in my plus 2. So I had to learn and to pass my CA. So sometimes I think we used to think less at the time. But I think it used to still pay off.
That did help you actually.
It helped actually.
Not thinking too much did help you.
Too much also helped. So that way CA happened.
జనరల్గా సిఏ అనగానే ఒక ఫోబియా, చాలా మందికి సిఏ పాస్ అవ్వాలి అంటే చాలా కష్టం, ఇన్ని సబ్జెక్ట్స్ పాస్ అవుతే కానీ యూ విల్ నాట్ గెట్ సిఏ, లేదా మళ్ళీ మొత్తం చేయాలి అంటే అదొక ఫోబియాతో కూడిన ఒక కెరీర్ అని ఇట్స్ ఎ నోషన్ కదా. అది డూ యూ థింక్ ఇట్స్ ఎ నోషన్, అది నిజంగానే అదంత టఫ్ ఏమంటారు?
True, it is mostly a notion. I don't say it is easy. There is an element of being a larger syllabus and a stiffer exam. These two. Syllabus ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, ఎగ్జామ్ కొంత కష్టంగా ఉంటుంది. It's not that I used to study 2 months for my graduation, go right. It is not that kind of exam because the one is syllabus more, you can't predict the question paper. Generally try to be unpredictable. So we used to always consider it as a sadistic examiner setting our paper. So because of that, one student need to study entire subject, and memorizing is very difficult if you have a new syllabus. So that is where you need a bit of conceptual study. So each subject has underlying concept, so you have to understand that and study, then it's easier. So to understand how to approach CA is rather a key element. So once you understand, it is not all that tough. And the second part in CA is its individual discipline. It's mostly our studies will go as a campus college study.
Okay.
So you are graded this way and both ways through your assignments, through midterm tests. Then you face a final exam. So this way it's a campus education, most of it. Even MBA is a campus education. But CA tends to be off campus. So you need to study, you need to prepare on your own. So generally in that situation it is left to your entire individual discipline. That makes it a bit tougher. So we are generally not all that disciplined. So and you have an opportunity to write exam every 6 months if you fail. So because of lack of discipline, sometimes we take an excuse that the course is tough. And I also had my failure in CA while studying. But I always know I am the reason.
Okay.
Not that the examiner is the reason. So I have left out chinks in my preparation. So I failed. That way course is a strict course, but it's not tough in the sense that it's very difficult, impossible to do. A bit of conceptual study and an individual discipline will see you through.
Okay. Now, CA, ఒకప్పుడు ఇంజనీరింగ్ మెడిసిన్ మాత్రమే you used to see institutions around and స్టూడెంట్స్ కెరీర్ అనగానే వాళ్ళకి అదొకటే ఉండేదన్నమాట. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నౌ జనరేషన్ హ్యాస్ చేంజ్డ్. సో యూ కెన్ సీ taking up MEC and CEC and then trying to get into CA and chala training institutes, kotta colleges, inter avagane they can get into CA mode. So I think there is a variation in the market now. So what is me suggestion? What do you think?
It's good development. People recognizing CA as one important area of study. See, earlier due to the phobia that it's a tough course, many won't enter. Today people are entering thinking there is a good opportunity for chartered accountants. So in a way it's true. CA చదివిన వాళ్ళకి ఆపర్చునిటీస్ బాగానే ఉన్నాయి అండ్ మల్టీఫెసిటెడ్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి CA.
సో వన్ డౌట్ లైక్ మనకి ఇంజనీరింగ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా చాలా ఎక్కువైపోయారు. ఇలాగే డిమాండ్ రావడం వల్ల, ఇంపార్టెన్స్ పెరగడం వల్ల ఒక ఎంసెట్ కోచింగ్ లో 1,00,000 మంది పాస్ అయినా అందులో ఇంజనీరింగ్స్ కి ఆపర్చునిటీస్ దొరికేది చాలా తక్కువ మందికి. నిజంగా వాళ్ళు ఇంజనీరింగ్ జాబ్ చేసి దే హ్యావ్ టు చేంజ్ దర్ కాంపిటెన్సీ. సో CA కూడా అలాగే అవకాశాలు ఏమైనా ఉంటాయంటారా? అంటే ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ దే పాస్ ఇన్ CA, ఇస్ దేర్ ఎనీ గ్యారంటీ దట్ దే కెన్ ఫెచ్ దేర్ కెరియర్?
It is a guarantee. CA actually, there are 2-3 ways of it. CA, if you understand that every company requires books to be audited. Every company requires its accounts to be made first of all. So when accounts is to be made, there is an accounting professional. So accounting professional of higher degree is chartered accountant.
Okay.
There are cost accountants too, which is a reasonably good degree to generate people who can take accounting as an option. So like CA is a better degree for accounting as an option. So now every company requires accounting, and maybe smaller companies outsource accounting.
Okay.
But you need people who does this accounting. And today the complications in accounting are also increasing, because earlier India used to be a closed market, mostly your domestic sales. Now you have overseas transactions happening, so you have forex related issues happening, and reporting requirements company act prakaram oka balance sheet publish cheyali ante, balance sheet disclose cheyali ante, so reporting requirements have become tougher. So with all this you need a professional help. So that professional to draw accounts first of all is a chartered accountant, and that body of study helps, though BComs and MComs can also do, but a fairer degree could be CAs at a complex level. CA is a good bet.
So opportunities kuda equal ga unnai antaru.
Untayi. Then these accounts have to be audited under regulatory environment. So you need a practicing professional CAs. So there is a good element of importance. Now the finance side. If you see, CA is not just a tax professional and accounting professional. So yes, they provide tax advice and accounting advice as a traditional pursuit. But now they are also advisors at finance level of the business. So business today is exposed to several risks. So how to study the risks ahead is important for the business. There a finance professional can convert whatever future risk of business into financial implication. If this risk surfaces, business has to be ready. Financially it may affect here, or financially you should be ready in this fashion. Idi manaku chepagala professional again is CA. That's why where I respect the study CA is that it takes you to the depth of study of each subject, that you can easily understand the various aspects pertaining to business, finance, regulatory. So, and even surprisingly, I've seen even CA professionals are being service tax advisors, sales tax advisors. So not only direct tax advisors, they are also becoming indirect tax advisors. And they are also looking at various accounting of mutual funds, analysis of stocks, of various listed stocks, and both in India and overseas. Now overseas companies also are outsourcing work to India, where either accounting and valuations, business valuations, accounting, taxation of overseas countries delivered here. So that way there is a huge opportunity bucket for chartered accountants or any other financial professionals. But CA being a course which grills you and makes a better professional, so probably they have a first opportunity to utilize this growing demand. There is demand, and if you say tomorrow there will be excess, I feel for reasonable period of time, this demand will exist. That's my view.
Generally, CA avagane people get into practice and then they continue and they would be into learning process ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. But మీ career start avagane you have after a year or so you become an entrepreneur on your own. అంటే ఆ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ కి రీజన్ అండ్ just trying to understand ఎలా మీరు స్వయంగా ఆ డెసిషన్ తీసుకున్నారు, దాని కారణాలు ఏంటి?
Even I started as a CA practice. So in fact what I did is slightly different. So when I started my practice after working 1 year with a senior, 1 year I worked to understand whether I am personally, I used to be a very shy guy. So I am very personally fit for a professional practice, whether I can communicate with my clients, I can meet, understand, mingle. So these are self-doubts which I had. So I had one firm, IS Rao and company where I say Shagiri proprietor. So I was with him.
Okay.
So I was with him for a year. And that 1 year was a great period for me because my boss was a guy who is very positive and delegates most of the work. So, and I virtually used to feel I am the boss of the office, and it gave me all opportunity to take up work, client relationship, working, client communication, office planning, and staff delegation. All this within a 1 year of short span I was learned there. And thanks to him I was ready for my own professional journey once the 1 year period was over. Then he requested me for a 6-month transition when I was actually never wanted me to go out.
Okay.
I wanted me to be in there, but I wanted to see how I do independently. So I convinced him with a 6-month notice. He agreed. So in that 6-month notice I served, and after that I started on my own. What I did differently was the teaming up. See, I always say that it's a individual professional and individual work that I do, or a teamwork I do. I always enjoy teamwork.
Okay.
And for chartered accountants to be integrated in the sense that if I have to advise business, it is not enough if I am only good in tax, if I am not enough if I am only good in audit. So if I am good in tax, audit, management consultancy, financial advisory, for one business if I advise, I'll be advising in an integrated fashion. My advice is not sectional. And that advantage is there if few professionals team up, which was not happening in a CA practice. So happening, but it was rare, not happening. So what I did is to go back to my friends, the great guys, who had this different, who is good in each subject. Let us say I have Shekhar with me. So Shekhar, who is a tax expert, is always, I remember his hostel days always used to study tax.
Okay.
And I hate that subject. Shekhar loves that subject. Then I have Ravi. So Ravi is a guy who is a born auditor. I think even if I walk, he can write a comment on me.
Oh.
So he's a born auditor. So he's good in auditing. And there was MRS, who is always, always try to do things which are new. A very enthusiastic guy. So who was good in management consultancy, dealing with RBI, FEMA guidelines. So then I was there, and I never did my audit tax in life, but I always liked analyzing businesses from finance perspective and advising businesses on raising funds, communicating business risks to outside world. Then we formed a perfect combination.
So you pulled in the competencies.
Pulled in the competencies.
Okay.
And we started. So Akasam is not Raghu alone. Akasam
Team.
is Shekhar, Ravi, MRS and Raghu. So this was Akasam when we started way back in 93. 93 I started, 94 I could pull them in. And from 94, Akasam and Associates has progressed and become a reasonable brand because of the effort of all the four. And because of this uniqueness of being together with multiple disciplines and handling client with a better advisory than if I was an individual professional. So I know where to involve Shekhar, I know where to involve MRS. And later in year 2000, there is in us actually there is an audit advisory conflict. If I am doing a chartered accountancy practice and I also advise him, then I am not having independence to sign his balance sheet. So because of this concept of conflict, so what we started is to protect independence of Akasam and Associates, we started Akasam Consulting Private Limited.
Okay.
Akasam Consulting Private Limited, though it shares the first name, two of us, myself and MRS, came into Akasam Consulting Private Limited. And Akasam Associates continues to be led by Shekhar and Ravi and other team that we have. We have excellent team there. And then Akasam Associates continued as an audit firm and gained significance in the market. And Akasam Consulting Private Limited became an investment banking outfit where we offer fundraising, private equity, mergers and acquisitions. And we are now category 1 merchant bankers who can advise on public issues and SME listing. So we did this. So now though we are under two different this thing. So one is a financial advisory and management consultancy. And Akasam and Associates is doing good work in their field of auditing. And there we have major strength. So what I always believed is if and teamed up professionals, I mean we look at multinational firms. I respect those firms which through years have been all over the world like Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte, KPMG and EY. We call them Big Four. So these firms could make it because they teamed up and the large teams work. So the same way I always believed Indian firms also can, if they join as teams. And one such effort from me initiated was Akasam Associates, where I always felt this teamwork reflects and the client gets more benefit than even us. So that's how Akasam and Associates origin and growth is. And I think I breathe the teamwork, and I think Akasam Associates reflects that. And even today in Akasam Consulting, where I am director and lead Akasam Consulting into investment banking, we have built an excellent team. And the team goes. So I sometimes shy away from my name being there. I feel my team is important. If they say Akasam team, I'll be happy. Then if they say Raghu's team, that's the way I think.
You've been lucky that you got right competencies at the right time. Ante me friends lo trust plus having different competencies, combinations kalpi did a magic to you to start with.
Yes, and they're great guys. What I feel is today when I cherish my journey, professional journey, and working with we4 working together was excellent. I mean, we had our trying times, and we started, all of us started, no investment. Our
I was about to ask you the same actually, because now you are మీరు ఒకరికి సజెషన్ చేసే పరిస్థితిలో ఉన్నారు because of your experience and your learning all these years. ఒక కంపెనీ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అవ్వంటే కావాల్సిన స్ట్రాటజీ ఏంటి, బడ్జెట్ ఏంటి, అసలు ఎలా ప్లాన్ చేస్తారు, ఆర్ సపోర్ట్ సిస్టమ్ ఏంటి అని మీరు 1 year ఉన్న ఎక్స్పోజర్తో ఒక కంపెనీని ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేశారు విత్ యువర్ టీమ్ వర్క్. సో దానికి కావాల్సిన బడ్జెట్కి అప్పుడు మీకు సపోర్ట్ ఎవరు ఇచ్చారు, అసలు మీరు బడ్జెట్ ఎలా ప్లాన్ చేసుకున్నారు, ఎన్ని కోట్లతో స్టార్ట్ చేశారు, హౌ?
ఎక్కువ ఆలోచించకపోవడం హెల్ప్ చేస్తుంది అన్నట్టు. అప్పుడు అసలు ఆలోచించేవాళ్ళం కాదు ఇంతగా, అంటే ఇది రిస్క్ అని ఆలోచించేది మైండ్లో వచ్చేది కాదు. సో నేను ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రాక్టీస్ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను 93లో నేను స్టార్ట్ చేశాను. మై ఫ్రెండ్స్ జాయిన్ మీ ఇన్ 94. సో 93లో నేను స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఐ వాజ్ అ ప్రొపరేటర్. ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ అండ్ స్టార్టింగ్ మై ప్రాక్టీస్ అండ్ ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ and I don't have any balance with me. So though ISRA used to pay me decently, I used to spend on my night outs and my drinks, whatever. So I never had that money when I was starting my practice. Then I remember when my brother came, elder brother, and was blasting me that I never saved anything to start my practice. And my father said, I can't give you any money now, and I can definitely give you money when I retire from the job, bank job. I can give you a lakh or so. You will have a capital and then you start. Why you want to start now? But what I felt at the time, the money, even today I believe, we want to do, money is not a hurdle.
Okay.
So what I felt is, I requested my dad that if first 6 months I am unable to pay my office rent, you help me. And I don't require capital, I will start. I like him for one thing. He only asked me that if I will be demoralized if I can't make it. That was the only question he asked me. And I said I will not be demoralized if I can't make it in the practice. I have other options. I am CA and I had another qualification. I said I thought I would get my job. So, and I will go if I am not successful in practice. So I will not be demoralized right over it. Then he was happy. And when I started, yeah, it had its own share of trouble. So it took some time. In Premnagar, in Khairatabad, identified one office and went and sat with the owner. So owner ఇవ్వని అంటాడు ఫస్ట్. సో ఇవ్వడం కోసం, అద్దెకి ఇవ్వడం కోసం ఓనర్ని కూర్చొని ఆయన కన్విన్స్ చేసి, దెన్ అల్టిమేట్లీ హీ గేవ్ మీ ద ప్రెమిసెస్ యాజ్ ద లీజ్ ఫర్ ఆఫీస్. I started. When I started, okay, I got the premises, but where is the table? So where is the chair? I remember, so in my brother's house, we used to work here in Hyderabad. So I used to have an unused dining table, so it was not fitting in the house. Then I took that dining table and put it on as my table. and covered the legs with bed sheet, right? So then the chair was required. So I remember my brother spending 600 rupees then and getting me a chair after scolding me a lot. So then I got my chair in the office. But it was okay. So started, and so my monthly budget was 1,500 rupees rent for office, and maybe 500 rupees for my pocket money.
Oh.
And my employee, Hanumant, was my first employee, so 500 rupees salary for him. So this was my establishment, and I was bachelor, so my brother gives me some food, so it's okay. So now this was my establishment, and I used to make it each month. I thought, I was worried. I never asked my dad for not even a month for rent. I could make it, and bought second-hand furniture slowly. And friends used to help me. I remember a friend who he donated his calculator because I had on my purchase list for office various items but no money. So I remember my friends chipping in. So it was a great journey. See, today I still cherish those days that when you start with an intention, when you are confident, things do happen. And I think I've seen several entrepreneurs in the journey of last 20 years. And everyone I see in the same spirit. So I always feel an entrepreneur who starts has the willpower to do that, confidence to do that. Rest will follow. I think I give lowest rating to though I am an investment banker, I give lowest rating to the investment required for the business.
సో ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న మీ సక్సెస్ చూస్తే అసలు ఎన్ని కోట్లతో మొదలు పెట్టుంటారో, మీ పెట్టుబడి ఏముంటుందో అనే ఒక క్యూరియాసిటీ ఉండింది. సో ఇట్స్ నాట్ సమ్ మనీ దట్ హెల్ప్, మీ మీద మీకు కాన్ఫిడెన్స్, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్, మీ టీమ్ ఎఫర్ట్, ఆ టైంలో ఉన్న పరిస్థితులు, మీకు మీ ఫ్యామిలీ నుంచి వచ్చిన సపోర్ట్, ఇవన్నీ కలిపి అదే మీ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అయిందన్నమాట.
And I still remember our wives used to have. So we all 4 guys. So let us say I take 2,000 rupees home for a month, and my wife still saves out of those 2,000 rupees. So I remember purchasing my first color TV thanks to Aka's weird scheme. So when my wife used to ask me when we purchase color TV, I used to tell when Aka gives an offer for exchange from black and white to color. And I remember the guy gave us an offer.
Okay.
And I had to
So
buy.
my strategy ముందు నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయిపోయింది అనమాట. It's not now, so it was there from the beginning.
So it's their cooperation essentially that when you feel that you are adjusting to the lifestyle, and I think luckily, and sometimes not having any major responsibilities, no requirement of a major money at the time, so probably was another factor where we could pursue practice, which was in comparison with the service. I had good job offers then, best job offers I should say, but always practice is at a discount initially to the job remuneration, but still we could adjust and make it turn around. So it's interesting journey.
ఆత్మవిశ్వాసమే పెట్టుబడిగా సాగిన రఘునాథ్ విజయ్ యాత్ర యూత్కు ఓ మంచి మెసేజ్.